Hi friends, so today I don't really have a project tutorial per se, but I just thought I would turn on the camera and go through some of the projects that I've been doing aside from some of the projects for YouTube videos, just to share with you some of the tinkering abouts, I guess, with the creating part, not necessarily all sewing, but and not all successful. I don't know about you guys, but when you get something in your head and you try it out and then go through with it and it doesn't always succeed. So I wanted to share some of those things with you just in case you're interested. Starting with the weather outside. It is so cold out there. It is -6 up here in the mountains, and so time outside is limited. So it's a perfect time to hang about in the sewing studio and just the sewing room, which is just my daughter's old room, and go over some of these projects. So I started with working on the basket project, and it was the last video I think I uploaded, and the 3 cube baskets that I think I have sitting over there actually. It was before that project. I was trying to come up with the idea what I wanted to do, and the first thing I made was this little flat container, and I had in mind that I wanted something to hold different projects while they were works in progress, or WIPs as they seem to call it on the internet. And this is just the first design that I came up with, which is okay because I just sling a bunch of different things in there. And at the moment it is holding on to some of the English paper piecing that I am working on. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have found the YouTube channel The Last Homely House and the beautiful green sofa over there. So if you haven't checked out her YouTube's channel, I encourage you to. I love that channel. It's so relaxing to just cuddle up, especially on a winter's evening, and watch her talk about the projects that she has going on over there at her home in England, in the very far north of England. And I love watching it because, first of all, she just reminds me of my English family and my grandmother, and it just makes me feel like she's part of the family listening to her stories. But Kate over there does a lot of quilting, and she also does a lot of the English paper piecing. So I was having my hand at trying some of it. I've never done it before. So I got some of the little hexagon templates over at Joann's and then traced them out on some newspaper. And I did that while it was a perfect project to do down in the living room while my mother-in-law was visiting. And so it was something that I could do with my hands while we were watching TV and just relaxing, kept my hands busy. So if you enjoy English paper piecing, drop it in the comments below, or if you've had any experience with it. It's really fascinating, and it's just slow stitching at its best, very relaxing. So that was the first project that I guess I was doing in October, November time frame. And after that, I decided that I would try to, this is 2 epic fails. I decided to try to make covers for the Kindle that I got for Christmas. And I didn't have a cover for it, so I thought, as you guys know, and probably do, if you know how to sew or make things and they're creative, you'll see things around the house that you want to do or fix, and you'll be like, I can do that. I'm going to have my hand at it and give it a shot. And so I thought I would try. And the first one I did was this, and I used cotton and foam and put a clear vinyl window in it in hopes that I could actually take the Kindle, and my daughter going downstairs, the bird, in hopes that I could slide it in. Now, it sort of works, but not really. I mean, it works, and then wasn't sure if I could actually touch the screen and make it work through the clear vinyl, and it does work. It's just that it's a super tight squeeze. So I was really bummed about that because I thought that it actually turned out really cute. And I love the colors. They reminded me of a summer's day with watermelon for some reason. I don't know. I'm dreaming of summer days. So that's what I made. But anyway, it works, but it's really too tight. So if I'd made it just a little bit looser, I think it would have been perfect. So that was the first attempt. And then the second attempt, I made it, and I made it with these. You may have seen these on some of the YouTube channels. I made it following a video. Worked, except it doesn't cover it up all the way. I think the issue was that it was my fault. I followed the video and the dimensions and everything, but I used a different type of not padding, but interfacing, and I think that did not account. It was thicker than what she had used in the video, and so therefore the size is off, so it doesn't work. So that was a fail too. But good practice, right? If you hear slamming about, it's my daughter getting herself something to eat. Yeah, so that's something that I will probably try again to get going, because I am terribly afraid that I'm just going to drop this. So, and I know I could get on and order one, but if I can sew something and I can sew it in a fabric that I like, I just want to try again. Next was it was Christmas time, so I made a lot of things for friends. Namely, I made some baskets and I filled them up with like gift baskets. I made some little scrubbies for the face, and as you can see, I actually used this one, but I'm using this one. I loved these because washcloths for some reason are too big, and I don't like it when they get wet and then I have water running down my arms. For some reason that just bothers me. I don't know. But this little one's just perfect to get my face clean. And what I did was I just bought a towel, or you could use, I suppose, a towel that you have, but since I was making it for presents, I bought a brand new towel and used some of the fabric, and I put a little hanger on it so I can just hang it up on a little suction cup to the mirror. Actually, I just use it and dangle it off the faucet handle. Let me know in the description below if you would like for me to do a quick little tutorial on how to make these. It's a fun, beginner-friendly tutorial, so if you're looking for an easy project to start that is just straight lines and it's something useful that you can use around the house, let me know and I'll be happy to make some with you. I only made one for myself, but I made a whole container for one of my friends with several in there so that she has multiple little facial scrubbies to use. And yeah, I think I might make some more actually for myself, and maybe a little bit bigger than this one, but this has been working really well and I like it because it dries really quickly too after you use it. So then, as a unexpected surprise, I don't know if you guys have this when you're in your sewing room and you get to working on a project and you get unexpected surprises, and this actually turned out to be a win, and that was using the leftover corners or boxing out material from the little baskets that I made. I'll link the video to how to make these little storage containers, but when you're doing these boxes, you get the leftover wastage, such as this, and I refuse to throw it away because I don't like to throw things away that can be used for something else. And so I decided to make some coasters, and these were the coasters that I made from the leftover corners. I just put a tag on the front of that one because I thought it'd make a cute present, but then I thought, don't know if it would be practical, because since this is a cup or a glass holder, I'd be afraid somebody put their glass on that top one and wobble, and God forbid anybody drop their glass of wine, right? That wouldn't be good. So anyway, these were fun, super quick, and even if you are just starting with fabric from scratch, it's a fun project to make, but it's a super quick project. Then all the while this was going on, I intermittently like to do things with my hands while I can't be in the sewing room. If I'm sitting downstairs watching my husband watching TV or whatever. As Kate over at the last homely house, she always says, out of your head and into your hands if something's bothering you or if you're stressed out, which I think is just genius, because there's such a meditative quality to using your hands and doing something that's repetitive. It gets you away from perseverating on that problem, and it gets you focused on what you're doing with your hands. So I think that is a wonderfully therapeutic idea. So if any of you out there are anxious about something in particular, just keep that in mind, what Kate says, out of your head and into your hands. So with that, I have been busy getting back into knitting. So actually, crocheting is what I learned first as far as between knitting and crocheting. I didn't know how to knit. I remember my grandmother had started a project. It was little. I don't think she finished it, but she tried to show me knitting, and that's where I first learned how to cast on and do basic knitting. But she was trying to make a sweater. I don't know if she ever finished it, but I just had fond memories of her teaching me how to knit. And so that, and the fact that I just had fond memories of people crocheting. I grew up in Italy, and many of the ladies there crocheting. Now the crocheting that they do is with very fine thread. It's more of the lace crocheting, but it always just seems so relaxing and satisfying that they would do it, you know, when they were conversing with friends or family, and they were able to just go at such incredible speeds that it just seemed something, again, very relaxing about it. So I actually taught myself how to crochet. That was pre-YouTube, when my girls were babies, little. So I taught myself with a crocheting book. Actually, have that book still here. Oh, it was this book, actually, I think, that I used to teach myself basic crocheting. And so it's much harder to learn these fiber arts or yarn arts, I guess, without video. We are so lucky to have video now, because there are videos that teach you how to do different methods, especially like with knitting, as well as if you're right or left-handed. I'm left-handed, and so that was an added challenge in trying to learn how to crochet, but I was able to do it. And so I did a lot of like the baby blankets and stuff, but I've always wanted to learn how to knit proficiently, i.e. doing more than just casting on and knitting. And so in the past I have taken a class in it, but I thought I'd get back into it and practice a little bit. So I tried my hand at doing these washcloths, which actually also make great face washcloths. So if you haven't done it before and you're interested in doing some, there's some great tutorials for knitting washcloths. The most recent one that I did was this one, which is called Grandma's Favorite Washcloth Pattern, something like that. But it's I guess it's an old pattern that's been going around for a long time, because I've seen different YouTubers do that, make this one. And if you're interested in doing that, just be sure to use cotton thread, because it's going to be your toughest thread as far as knitting thread, and most durable. And the 100% cotton just lasts forever. As a matter of fact, I did another one some time ago, and I used it to clean, and it looks just brand new, basically. So I'll link the video below for this one, which I did 2 of them with 2 different needle sizes. So this one's actually bigger than the white one, But again, it's fun because it's something that you can do repetitively. It's not something that you have to sit there. It's mindless essentially. So you can do it while watching other videos or watching television or whatever. And then this one I liked. It's Moss Stitch, and it's from a YouTuber, Nimble Knitter, I think, and I'll link it. It's Norm over at Nimble Knitting. I like his videos as well, and he has this washcloth that is a lot of fun if you want to practice something more interesting than just the basics. So that one you do have to pay attention a little bit more than the grandma's basic washcloth. So that's something that is fun to do. I enjoy doing that, and I'll probably do some more because I can't stop making them. Anyway, something I enjoy doing in the evenings. And the washcloths are, like if you used it as a washcloth, 100% cotton. I know some beauty YouTubers, actually. Melissa, 55, I don't know if you guys have seen her, but I think she's in her 60s, looks gorgeous, always has, and has a beautiful spirit about her, but she actually crochets her washcloths, and that just always stuck with me that, wow, she makes her washcloths, uses them on her face, and she looks fabulous. So I thought I could use these as washcloths as well. The bumpiness of them makes for good exfoliation, I would imagine. I do remember, gosh, going back to when I was a teenager, it was in home economics. That tells my age. I don't think they do home economics anymore. Maybe they do. Maybe they call it something else, but I do remember, and this stuck with me as well. My teacher that taught this home economics class, she was into Mary Kay, I think, too, and she taught us how to take care of our skin and how that you should always use your ring fingers, particularly around your eyes, and that just always stuck with me. So I've always been careful about not being too rough with my face. So at first I wondered, I'm going off on a tangent, but at first I wondered if these might be too rough on the skin. But I don't think that it'd be any rougher than the toweling that I'm using. So in any case, something fun. And then, what did I do next? Oh, let's see, I forgot about this. This was another little silly thing. It made me think of the baby blocks that my girls had when they were little, but I use it to poke pins in it, just like a pin cushion. But I made this actually out of the remnants of some of the squares from when I was making the little basket. Did that. Thought these would be fun for if you have grandkids that are young grandkids, to make several of these for them. You could also put some of the little sound makers in them for the babies. That would be fun. Then my latest attempt was, let me grab something. Along with the knitting phase that I've been going through, was trying to make a needle holder. This one is a clover knitting holder that I got some time ago, but I wanted something that would hold more needles and something that was bigger. And so, boy, did I deliver. I made it way too big, but yeah, I'm not sure what I can use this for, but let's see. I made it way too big. Oops. I made it, let's hold it this way, I think, two-sided. So it holds the knitting needles on this side, and then this side also has a spot. So I made it, and initially I made it like it was going to be closing this way, and that I would roll it shut and just hold it together with just some string, like shut like that, and just as a storage for all the knitting needles, and so I think it may be an overkill, but anyway, it was just something I upped and decided one night to work on. So as far as projects that I've been thinking about that it's more I should do, and that is coming up with a design or a cover for my Juki sewing machine, because the cover for the Juki that it came with has ripped. I don't know if you guys have had that same issue. So I thought that I would try to come up with a cover for it, and I wanted to make the cover that actually fit the machine, and then also that would cover the long bed of the machine, but I wanted those two things to be detachable, just in case you didn't want to use the bed of the machine, that you could use it to cover a standard sewing machine without the extended bed on it. But anyway, so I thought that would be one of the next projects, and let me know if you're interested in also getting a pattern or a design for that to make a cover for the sewing machine. In the meantime, I'll get to thinking about how to make it. But anyway, drop in the comments below what you have been working on and enjoying. And sorry this was so long-winded. I just thought it'd be fun to hop on and talk about a little vlog. Bye now.